Okay, welcome to Mama Baby Yoga number 2. Today we're going to start standing. So I don't have a blanket set up here for Otto because he's already so mobile, but especially for the really little guys, it's nice to have a blanket or maybe a boppy or other breastfeeding pillow or whatever, any pillow actually, doesn't matter, for them to lay down on and be able to look up at you. And today we're going to stay standing. Okay. And we're going to start in our mountain pose. So our feet are slightly turned in directly beneath our hips, and we're just tilting our pelvis up just a little bit so that we can nicely feel our lower abs. We're going to contract those. And we're going to start standing here. We're going to just come to our mat. Get a feel for how baby's doing today. Baby happy, baby? And we're just going to breathe a little, try to get our shoulders back, try to stand tall, push our feet into the mat, have the crown of our head pull up to the ceiling, a nice long spine, and we can just hold baby against this. Oh, give mama some spit up, huh? Yummy. And just take a couple breaths here. And we're going to start with just doing a little bit of arm exercises. So we're going to just push baby out and pull back in. Push baby out and pull back in. And go as far as you like here and what you feel comfortable with. You can widen your stance a little, bend your knees a little bit more, and tilt your pelvis a little bit more forward, and give yourself a little break for your back. So if you're noticing that you're using your lower back, which as mamas, we're using a lot, and we don't want to overuse that. If that's the case, then make sure that you widen that stance and come into the knees a little. Another hold you can do is this for the newborns is just hold under their chest with one hand and the other hand, or one arm, have my whole a lower arm there, and the other one just underneath their butt, and you can just push in and out like that. Ooh. So whatever stage you're in, you can have them facing away from you if they think that's funny, but usually they're gonna think it's funnier if they can face you, right? You like that? You like the Zoom. You like to see yourself in the computer. Yeah. And then our next option, so we're gonna just take our baby and we're gonna go up. Work some different arm muscles. We can try to inhale up and exhale down. Very good. Just a couple of those. You like that. And again, if you have a more newborn baby, maybe you're trying a couple different holds depending on how their head control is and how comfortable you feel. We can try to combine those two as well. I'm going to go up and out and up and out and up and out and up and out. And just do a couple more of those. Up. Oh, my arms are burning. Making sure you're not using that lower back, tilting your pelvis forward a little bit more if you need to, coming more into the knees. Okay, one more round. Whew. Very good. I'm sure I was starting to go less further towards the end there. Gonna bring our feet back under our hips. Feet inwards a little bit. Self-check here on our mountain pose. Holding on to baby either against us or away, whatever works better depending on how baby's doing. And there was a time where Audrey only wanted to look in this direction. And we're just going to sit back a little bit into our chair pose. So here you can have baby sit with you like this, or again, if you have a more newborn, you can have them against your chest here, or you can have them even over your shoulder, doing some burps, collect some nice sit up on your back. Whatever works for you and baby today. Okay, so we'll meet in our chair pose. And I'm just going to tilt my pelvis just a little forward again, make sure that I'm not coming into that lower back at all. And if I have a hand free, I can bring it up. Yes. You want to go. You want to go. Got some baby ride in here. My chair pose. You like that? Is it good, Otto? And again, you might have baby against your chest or over your shoulder. None of this is a problem. Whatever works for you. Whew. Starting to really feel it in my thighs. You too, Otto? Hmm? Yeah, you like to roll around? You want to go. Very good. And then we're going to just come down through the middle. And wherever we have babies, I'm going to put him back on my shoulder. I'm going to bring him down with me. I'm going to bring our upper body down, come into our knees, and lay baby down. Otto's going to need a toy here. Very good. We're going to straighten our legs up, bring crown of the head down towards the ground. And just lengthen that spine a little. We can bring our elbows into our arms. No, our hands into our elbows. And we're just going to rock back and forth. Can even bend the knees a little bit more so your upper body is really laying on your thighs. That's totally fine. Lengthening out that back. And try to engage your pelvic floor here. And bring down our hands. Inhale, we're going to come halfway up. Nice long spine. Exhale, we're going to come all the way down. Say hi to baby. Hi, baby. One more time. Actually, let's do a couple more times. Inhale, halfway up. And come back down. Getting some movement into that spine. Inhale. Halfway lift. Exhale, back down. Say hi to baby. They like this peekaboo. Hi, peekaboo. Up, inhale, and exhale. You like that. Inhale up, and exhale. Yeah, there you go. One last time. Inhale up, and exhale. We'll bring our hands all the way down the mat. You can bend your knees here if you need to. Just make sure your hands get all the way down. We'll bring our knees back down. Come into our tabletop position. We'll do some cat cows. So move. You like the peekaboo, don't you? Move. And making those cat cows as big or as little as you want and feels comfortable for you today. Warming up that lower back. As mama's, a lot's going to go on our lower backs, and it's nice to just have some movement brought into that lower back. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Hi. You like the peekaboo. You like the peekaboo. We're always going to exhale in our cat and inhale for our cow. Exhale cat and inhale cow. Don't forget to try to hold on to that pelvic floor. Try to hold those lower abs. Yeah. And we'll meet back in the middle. We're going to set our feet up. Bring our hips back. Yeah. Are you ready? We're going to push our legs up. We're going to come to a downward facing dog. Maybe we'll bring our feet in a little bit. Maybe we're bicycling our feet a little bit. And we'll bring our hips left and right. Whatever feels good for you. Just doing a couple movements here. Yeah, that's silly. Isn't that silly? And just enjoy some of this stretch in the back of your legs for our first downward dog. Try to bring your upper body closer to your thighs. Maybe bend your knees a little so your back can get even longer. Remember to keep all of your fingers pressing down into the mat. And all these things are always a little subjective while we're having yoga with baby, as I'm getting kicked in the head here. Totally normal for mama baby yoga and enjoyable. So make sure all those fingers are staying down as good as well as you can, and maybe they're really not staying down and one hand is needed to keep baby calm. That's totally fine. This is all about flexibility in our yoga practice, not just in our body. Next time that we inhale, we're going to inhale, look to the front, bend our knees, and we're going to just take a couple steps forward again. We're going to inhale, come halfway up, and exhale all the way down. And again, we're going to take some steps back. And this time, we're going to land on our knees. Hi, baby. So if you have any diastasis recti, I don't want you to stay here long, and I want you immediately to come to the side. We're going to come to a side plank. Yeah, I do. I'm going to keep my right knee down to start, and then I'm going to bring up that left arm. And if you're really comfortable here, you feel a bit stronger, maybe you're a bit further out postpartum, you want to go a bit further, we can. Then you can stack your feet on top of each other. Make sure all your fingers, yes, you want a toy. Make sure all the fingers in your right hand are down on the mat. And if you want to, even if you have your knee down, it doesn't matter, you can try to lift up that top leg. That works both with the knee down, and it also works with the stacked feet. And try to lift up that top leg. And just take a couple breaths here. Hold on to those transverse abdominis muscles. Hold on to that pelvic floor. And exhale, come back down. Again, if you have any diastasis recti, I don't want you to stay here long. I want you to turn immediately to the other side. I'll see from the back or side plank. I'll bring up that right arm. And you can stay here. Again, you can stack your feet. Whatever works for you. Maybe your right arm is up. Maybe your right arm is a baby. Depending how baby's feeling and you're feeling. All is totally fine. Try to hold on to those lower abs. Try to hold on to that pelvic floor. Yes, little bit up. Yes, little bit up. And again, if you want to, maybe with your leg down, maybe up, we're going to lift up that top leg if it suits you today. And every day is different. Maybe it worked yesterday, and today it's not. That's totally fine. A couple more breaths here, if baby will let you. And then we'll come back down to the middle. And we're just going to bring our knees a little wider. I'm going to pull baby back with me. Come, baby. Oh, you're so big. And we're going to come into a child's pose. And I'm going to have baby with me for child's pose. Just lengthening that lower back. So I have my big toes together. I bring my knees a little wider so some more space for baby. And we're just going to give some baby kisses. Lengthen out that lower back. You don't like to be jacked like this. You don't like that. You want to go. You want to go. Do you want another toy? Are you good? Good. All right. We're going to come back, sit up from our child's pose. So we're sitting on our knees right now. And then we're just going to come forward and try to set up our feet and come back onto our feet. We're going to come into a squat here. Now, I'm going to be just on my mat, but you can easily just roll up the back of your mat behind your heels. If you need some more support, your heels are coming up. So if you're up here, you might want to put something underneath. So roll up that mat, or if you can get your heels down, that's also totally fine. And I'm going to grab baby. You're welcome to grab baby. You're welcome to leave baby down if they're comfortable. I'm just going to have him against my chest. And we're going to just spend this moment here in our squat, just stretching out. And then we're going to do 5 times rocket baby up. Are you ready for rocket baby? So I'm going to show the first one how I would do it more with a newborn, really holding them against my chest. Just inhaling up, holding onto that pelvic floor, holding onto that transverse abdominis. Exhaling down, inhaling up, and exhaling down. Now, if baby's a little older and they like to go along for the ride, you can hold them. You can go inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Inhale up. And one more time. Inhale up. Oh. Exhale down. Good job. Let's sit back. Hi. Hi, baby. And we'll come back onto our back. We'll come back onto our back already. Yeah, we'll do back already now. And we're just going to do a couple more of those exercises to get a nice strong core again after pregnancy. So I have my legs first to tabletop, and I'm just going to bring down my left toe and back up, and my right toe and back up, and just down and up, down and up. Do a couple of those. And if this is too much, which for me, the first few weeks or months postpartum, this definitely was too much, then I would just start with the feet down and more just bring one up and back down and up and down. This is also totally fine. You're making sure, no matter which version or where you're at, that your lower back is staying pressed into the mat and your pelvis slightly tilted forward so that you're activating that transverse abdominis and not using your lower back muscles. We want to make sure that we get the core back and not hurt our back. All right, and from here, we're going to see if we can take baby against our chest, and we're just going to rock forward. Whew. Again, if you have any diastasis recti, instead of rocking forward, you're going to roll to the side, and you're going to come up in that log roll fashion to make sure that you're not exasperating that. Very good. All right, so we're going to take our baby. We're going to sit in a Baddha Konasana. Oh, we get some more spit up. Yummy. I'm going to sit in a Baddha Konasana, so my feet together, have my knees fall left and right. And I'm going to lay baby down. I'm going to bring my feet a little bit further away. I'm going to lay baby down so his feet are on. His head is on my feet. Here we go. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. And I'm just going to move my hips a bit further away so that I have a nice diamond shape going on here. For Otto, this works really well because he's really already a bit bigger. But with a small baby, you probably won't have baby come all the way. Won't have baby come all the way. And we're just going to do a little stretching on the side of our hips. This is a preparation for turtle. So I'm going to hold on to my feet or hold on to my baby. I'm going to inhale up nice long back and exhale. Come down forward with that flat back. And then after I come down with that flat back, then I'm going to come into my rounded back. Yeah, hi baby. Hi. And if you find that it feels really great with your flat back here, maybe you're staying there a bit longer, that's not a problem. You're not going to come as far down with a flat back, especially if somebody's kicking against you. Yeah, if somebody's kicking against you. But it's no problem to stay with that flat back a little longer. You'll feel that different muscles in your hips activate or stretch than if you're coming with that flat back down. Both are totally fine. Yes, yes. And just experiment what works well with your body and your baby today. Hi, baby. Hi, little guy. Yeah. You like this? You like this? You like to see the mama? Do you like to see the mama? And we're just enjoying some stretch and maybe doing some baby exercises while we're down here. Yeah. You like baby exercises? You do all the baby exercises already by yourself. You are just running and going and rolling and rolling and rolling. Yes. We're just rolling and rolling and rolling. Are you just rolling and rolling? Yeah. Inhale. We're going to come back up. And I'm going to grab baby back against me. We're doing a lot of up and down in this today because babies seem to like that a lot of times if they're feeling a bit more active. So maybe this is a good for active day for baby. And if baby's not feeling so active, it's not a problem to just have baby at the front of your mat and you're just doing your yoga as is, and then just incorporate baby as the needs are. Okay, from our squat now, we're gonna come back up. Ooh, very good. And we're gonna come into a balance pose. So make sure that you feel really comfortable here. We're just going to do a tree pose, but of course you're holding baby and balancing, so please only do what you feel comfortable with. So for the newborn, I would just have them over my shoulder. Maybe you can do one arm, maybe you're holding with both, whatever you feel comfortable with and whatever the baby's neck support is and so forth. So we're just going to take our right foot and we're going to start with our toes down and just our heel coming up against our leg. And we'll just start here. We're really holding on to those stomach muscles. We're pulling our belly button all the way back to our spine, tilting our hips a little forward, holding on to that pelvic floor. We'll find a point where we stare to, that we can anchor ourselves at for drishti. Otto's already doing the hip hold, so he's going to just stay on my hip now. And then you can put your foot underneath your knee. That's another variation if you're going to go a little further into your tree. Or we can bring our leg all the way up over our knee. Make sure to never land on your knee. That can help injure your knee, and we don't want that, of course. And also it's not as stable, which we want all the stability when we're holding baby. So make sure that you feel comfortable before you're going into the next variation for these for sure. If you have an extra hand free, we can put our hand before our heart, or we can have our tree branches grow out as you feel comfortable. Also, if baby's a little older, like Otto, let's see how this works. We can put baby, I need to find my drishti. We can put baby onto our leg as well. And before heart, stretch out. Make sure you're holding on to those stomach muscles, holding on to that pelvic floor. And we'll come back down, controlled movement, hopefully. And we'll come into the other side. So I'm going to just bring first just the toes down, heel against my leg. Make sure I'm standing nice and tall. Make sure my foot is pushing into the mat. I have a micro bend always in my standing leg and a nice activated thigh. Holding onto the pelvic floor, holding onto those stomach muscles, both of those together always. Pulling my crown up towards the sky. And maybe bringing that foot underneath my knee. Or if we want to, over tap against the thigh. And if you have the foot not against, not just with the toes down, you're always pushing your leg into your foot and your foot into your leg, both together. Make sure our shoulders are back. Always doing these little self checks. Big one is in the pelvic region, and a big one is at the shoulders. Long spine. Especially when we have baby, we have to do a lot of self adjustments as we need to switch how baby is. You don't like to stay still for long. No, you don't like to stay still. You want a little rock? Better. All right, now we're going to come back down. We're going to bring our feet a little wider, bring our toes out, our heels in. We're going to come into some goddess squats here. So I'm going to show them first, just with Otto down. I think he'll be comfortable with that. Yes. So our goddess squats, generally we're coming in, heel up. Holding on to the pelvic floor, exhale, we're coming down and we're brushing the floor. And if you have baby laying here, we can do some hello baby, some baby rubs. We just want to go. Inhale up and exhale down. Now, if you have baby that wants to be held, we can always inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. So whatever works for you, maybe you're holding baby like I am, maybe against your chest. Make sure here that your back stays nice and straight, ramrod straight. So no rounded back at all when you're coming down. Always exhale down and inhale up. One more time. Woo. Very good. Strong mamas. Bring our feet in a little bit more. And we're going to bring one foot back, one foot forward. We're going to do a little Superman baby. We always did these in my mama baby yoga classes when I had Wolf, back when I could go to those things. Superman baby. We're just gonna swing baby in and out. So we always have one foot in and the other out. And we're really holding on to our stomach muscles here. And this looks like something you could only do with a bigger baby, but a newborn, you can do this as well. So even when they don't have the head control yet, they're just not going to be looking up. This is often like a really nice hold for them anyway, if you're colicky. So you're just holding underneath the chest and underneath the butt, right by the diaper. All right, so we're going to switch sides. There's more Superman baby. Other leg forward. So I have the same leg forward as I have the arm forward. So right now I have left forward, left arm and left leg. I'm just going to rock forward and back. Whee! Holding on to those stomach muscles. Whew. Very nice. Also holding on to that pelvic floor. Do you like to fly? Do you like to be flying, baby? And maybe if you have a newborn, you're not going as far. You're just doing little tiny rocks. That's fine. Completely fine. Very good. All right. We're going to meet back at the front of the mat. And we're going to come back into a mountain pose. Take a moment to try to find an even breath. Nice balancing breaths. Try to breathe in the same amount of time we're breathing out. And then we're going to exhale. Next exhale, we're going to have slightly bent knees. Coming down. And if baby's against your chest, you're laying them just on their back. I'm just going to lay it on his stomach, which is what he seems to prefer right now. We'll see. You're going to turn anyway. You just want to roll. We're going to inhale, come back to that halfway lift, nice long spine. Exhale down. And then we're going to just make sure our hands come all the way down. Bend our knees a little bit, come back. We're going to do some body rolls here. We're going to bring our knees nice and wide. You want to come back this way, Mama? We're going to bring our knees nice and wide, our big toes together like we would for child's pose. But we're just going to roll back and forward. Loosening up that spine after those movements. Very nice. Very good. A little bit of cat-cow in there. Oh, very nice. And then I'm just going to bring my feet together and roll back to seated. Very good. Now, whatever works for seated, we're going to do a little bit of exercises for our hands. A lot of times when we're holding a newborn a lot, especially if we're not used to it, our lower arms will get very, they'll get overused. And so they'll start to have pain, so we want to stretch those out a little bit. So what we're going to do for that is we're just going to start with our hands together in prayer. And then, let's see, you want your toy? All right, we're going to start with our hands together in prayer. And we're just going to take our first hand, I'm going to take my right hand and bring it up a little bit more to stretch against my fingertips here. So I'm stretching my left lower arm, making sure I'm still sitting up nice and tall, my shoulders are back, holding on to the pelvic floor and my lower stomach muscles. Nice long spine, shoulders back, heart forward. Just take some moments to enjoy that stretch. And you can do these hand stretches anytime. They can be really helpful for the first couple months when you have newborn. Waitresses who are carrying heavy plates a lot also often have this problem. So remember, bring hands back to prayer and then switch sides. And just enjoy that stretch. And enjoy baby. Maybe baby's in your lap. Maybe you're a breastfeeding baby while you're doing this. Also possible. I've done it all. Yes, I do. Yes. Yes. Yeah, where are you going? Where are you going? All right, so just roll out your wrists a little bit. Maybe shake them out. Both directions. And we're going to go into another stretch. We're going to take our thumbs and put them inside of our fists. And we're going to stretch our arms out. And we're going to try to leave them up here to do a little bit of arm exercise. We're going to push our thumbs down. So now you're stretching along this part of your arm. You should feel it right at the beginning here. And again, these are just nice stretches to stretch out that lower arm when you're holding a newborn all the time. Again, keeping hold of those abdominals and your pelvic floor. Shoulders nice and back and low. Crown of the head is pulling up. Sit bones are pushing down to the mat. Just coming down a little bit here after all the baby lifts we did. And again, roll out your hands. Shake them out. Roll the wrists, whatever works for you. We're going to come back to those fists. You can have your thumbs out this time. And we're just going to take, I'm going to take my left fist, I'm going to take my right hand, I'm going to hold it on top, and I'm just going to push that left fist down. And now I'm going to stretch out the very top part here. And just take a couple moments. And you're welcome to, pause, do this longer. And again, you can do this anytime during the day. These are really, really helpful. So I didn't have this with Wolf very much, but with August, I had, and I think that was when August was about, 6 months old, we had a lot of snow. AJ was here, Karmen, so you can ask AJ, but there was a ton of snow that year. So I was shoveling a lot of snow, and I think the shoveling combined with holding August a lot, who was very colicky, that just really did a number on my underarms, on my hands, I guess. So we're going to switch sides. I'll push down. So I had this a lot with August, but I didn't have it with Alto really very much, just a tiny bit, and I didn't have it at all with Wolf. So it depends probably how much you're holding baby, how much other things you're doing. But it's also important if you start to notice the pains there, try to take it easy on all the non-essential tasks. So picking up baby is obviously like something that has to happen most of the time. So we can't just not pick up baby, but some of the other tasks, like when we had the big snow shoveling, I tried to use a different type of shovel or get somebody else to shovel if that was possible, as much as possible to try to alleviate some of that. And then it went away. And I think a lot of the stretching and just being careful with my body helped. Okay, so we're just rolling out our wrists again, shaking out. Very good. We're going to do shoulder rolls forward and exhale back. And Alto at this point has just moved on from me, but you might be holding baby in your lap still. Or maybe in front of you with lots of baby rubs. And depending on how your baby's doing or how baby's doing, we're going to go into a Shavasana from here. So we're just going to lay back. I'm going to grab Otto and he can come back onto my belly. Oh, you're all the way across the room now. I'm going to lay back against or on the mat. And again, if you're having any leg diastasis recti, make sure to come back down to the mat carefully from the side in that long roll fashion. And we're going to start with just a couple pelvic tilts up. Inhale up and exhale down. We always want to do these. We could do these all day long. It's the best healing exercise for your abs, especially if you do have that diastasis recti, but for many, many other reasons. Inhale up and exhale down. If you notice that you're using your glutes here, you're welcome to bring your knees out. And then you can really feel here your transverse abdominis. I can still feel it. Inhale, exhale down. Doing those pelvic tilts. You just want to go. You want to crawl up the mama. You want to crawl up the mama. When you were little, you would just fall asleep here. You're still holding on to that pelvic floor. You're always inhaling up, exhaling down. And then when you're ready, just stretching out those legs, letting your feet fall right and left. Your arms can come down or they're hold on to baby. Maybe you're coming onto your side. Maybe breastfeeding baby in your Shavasana. And for the sake of the video, we're just going to stop our video here in a moment, but you're welcome to stay in Shavasana as long as you like. At least 5 minutes would be ideal, but we know with a baby, we have to be flexible, right? We got to be flexible. So thank you very much for joining us. And we wish you and baby a wonderful day. Remember to thank your body for what it's done for you and thank your baby for choosing you. You are the best mama.